How's it going, guys? I'm SoCal Honey Badger, and that's my intro. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm SoCal Honey Badger, and I am a pro gamer. I really don't like that term. I think it's kind of silly, and I don't like telling people that, but, well, I play games a lot, more than you really should. I just streamed this one for 6 hours yesterday. I go to competitions where I fought against the best in the world. I have a YouTube channel where I make guides on how to play this stuff. I have a stream where people come specifically to play these games with me. And number 5, I try to make money doing it. So, yeah, man, I guess I have to accept that I'm a pro gamer even though I don't want to. I also know that there's a lot of people that want to be pro gamers. You probably want to be a pro gamer. Perhaps you're thinking of stepping into the FGC to make your name in the world. And that is awesome, because that's like what I do. And if you're doing what I do, then you're my kind of people. So I gotta make videos to help you out, because I don't say those things to like brag. Like, it's not a flex, it's facts. I should make that a t-shirt. That needs to be a tweet. That's probably already somebody's t-shirt. But yeah, I say that because you can't understand my experience without knowing my experience. You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you about my experience as a pro gamer and answer a question that I get all the time that you, as a burgeoning pro gamer, are probably going to ask your favorite YouTuber that isn't me. And that is, do I need to buy one of those expensive things to play this stuff? So like, yeah, what I'm talking about is like, this is HRAP 4, right? That stands for Hori Real Arcade 4, or Hori Real Arcade Pro, and it is the 4th of its kind. We got the PlayStation 5. Look, it's not even focusing. PlayStation 5. What we got? Xbox, right? What controller do you gotta use? Which one's the best? A lot of them are expensive. This one cost me like $200. I have like 6 of them. I kind of went overboard with the gaming thing. Now I gotta recoup my investment, okay? But yeah, they are an investment and they are intimidating. And a lot of people aren't going to tell you the truth about what you need and what is the reality of being a pro gamer that stands before you. So I'm going to let you know. As I've gone to Evolution, I've gone to the tournaments, and I can tell you from experience all of these things. All right, so the first thing, all right, I'm going to answer this in about 3 answers, okay, for you to understand. Hold on, let me pull this up, okay? Do you see this? All right, so 3 answers as to what controller you should buy and what is the best. And should you buy them, and are they the best? So let's answer with the first answer. There is a best. It is this bad boy here. This one is probably, this is a custom one. Here's one you could probably buy. Like, this is a Razer one. These are called leverless controllers. Okay, they are arcade sticks without the arcade lever. They just have buttons instead. They are oftentimes called a hitbox, because the first company, this guy here, right, the first company to bring one to market was the hitbox. However, we in the FGC, which is the fighting game community, we are we don't like corporations, man. So we're not really cool with allowing a corporation to like determine something. They didn't invent it. They just kind of made one that you could buy first. So we're like, yeah, We're not going to call them by your branding, but there are some people that prefer that's all they've ever known. I know people sponsored by this company, so they call it a hitbox. But a lot of people call them leverless. That is kind of the official term for them. And they are, hands down, the best controller. This is an undisputed fact, okay? There's been a lot of scientific studies on this. A lot of money has been spent, and the research is pretty conclusive. These are the best controllers. However, there are some caveats that you need to keep in mind from the perspective of a pro gamer. First of all, yes, they are the best. However, two things are a problem. One, these are not cheap, okay? Let's go to the all, and you'll see, okay, this one, yeah, I've never heard of these guys, but theirs is $80, okay? Hitbox style is $100, okay? But if you want the real stuff, they're usually between like $200 and $300, unless you make one yourself. And if you're asking questions about making a hitbox or a leverless controller, then chances are you're not savvy enough to make one yourself. But yeah, they're pretty expensive. Okay, it's a pretty big investment. Second thing, there is a controversy around leverless controllers. Some believe they should be banned, and there is dispute. I fall in the category of this. One, I don't have one. I have played on one. They do deliver on the hype. They are dope. So, that being said, I do plan to get one, and I do plan to train on it and become one of the leverless players. However, they're $300, so, you know, like, yeah, I'm not like that professional. I'm not even wearing a suit, right? But the second thing is that there are some that believe that they should be banned. It is a game-by-game basis, okay? If we go and we look, okay, we got the Tekken, right? But if you, you look around my channel, I also play Mortal Kombat. I play all the fighting games. And I gotta be honest, I am on the side of that it is game by game, but it should be banned. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference in some games, but it makes a big difference in others. In Mortal Kombat, it doesn't make a difference. There's not much execution-wise that is difficult in Mortal Kombat. Using a leverless stick or a leverless controller does give you an advantage, but it's not like you're not doing things that anybody else can't do with like their face bashed against a controller. Mortal Kombat's pretty easy and lenient as far as execution goes. Even Mortal Kombat 1, it is not very hard to do that stuff. So yeah, in terms of something like Street Fighter, I used to think that maybe it was a little too much in Street Fighter because it does give you frame perfect double quarter circle motions. And if you play Street Fighter, you know that that's kind of a big deal to be able to throw one of those out at random. But then Street Fighter 6 came out and they added modern controls and you could just push a button. And yeah, so clearly Capcom doesn't care. Clearly the community has accepted modern controls, so I don't think that it really gives you an advantage in Street Fighter because modern controls will let you input supers faster than leverless. If you really care about speed and reaction time, like nothing's going to beat modern controls anyways. So, you know, but other games, for example, execution heavy games, this is where the controversy lies. For example, a game like Marvel vs. Capcom, very execution heavy game. There's a lot of stuff in that game that is very hard to do, and the leverless controller trivializes the difficulty of Marvel vs. Capcom. However, Marvel vs. Capcom is not a balanced game. Like, that game is all about being stupid and doing wild stuff, and half of the time, unless you're a trained eye, you can't even tell what's going on. Even in the newer Marvel vs. Capcom 3, that was made to be a little bit easier to follow. But in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, that game is all about being wild. So that community is like, yeah, dude, anything goes. And so it's not really a problem or an issue there. It is, however, an issue in Tekken. There are many top Tekken players and top Tekken personalities that believe that the leverless controller does give you an unfair advantage in Tekken. Tekken is one of the more executionally difficult games. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it's a difficult game to get into. I don't think it is hard. But there is stuff that is, okay? Like, movement doesn't take that long to figure out, but there are people that cannot do electrics to this very day on command. And that move, the Electric Wind Godfist, in this move is balanced to be the best move in the game. And, like, hands down, everybody said it's the best move in the game. It is designed to be the best move in the game. And the way it is balanced is that it is very hard to do. And so the whole thing about that move is, yes, you have access to the best move in the game, but can you do it under pressure? Because Tekken is a very pressure-heavy game. It is very hard to do that move in practice mode, right, against a dummy. It is like, holy crap, hard to do that on command in a real match. Case in point, again, me going back to being a pro gamer. I have experience. I have fought Ryan Hart in tournament, live, in person. He sat next to me. He's a very nice guy. He plays Kazuya, which is this guy, who uses the Electric Wind Godfist, the hardest move in the game. Ryan Hart, he's known far and wide as the best Kazuya player in the world at the time. That was like, he's got Guinness World Records of like the most wins or something with Kazuya. He was like sponsored by Namco to fly around the world to promote Tekken before esports was a thing. Like, this guy, if there's anybody that has mastered the Electric Wind Godfist, it is Ryan Hart. I fought this man in tournament and he dropped a goddamn Electric Godfist. He drops him in tournament. Yeah, he hit a lot of them. He beat me. I didn't even get a round off that guy. He is as good as they say. But even the best Kazuya player in the world drops the Electric. He even said that sometimes he hates fighting in Evolution, the World Championships. He hates playing Kazuya because it is so hard to make him work at that high level when other characters don't have to try. They don't, if they mess up their combo, it's not that hard and they don't die for it. Whereas with Kazuya, if you can't do the Electric, like, you're got problems. And the best player in the world has problems in matches in the World Championships to this day. This guy is the master of the Godfist and he drops them. So the leverless stick completely trivializes that. It removed, like, I've played with one, they absolutely, electrics are like nothing on a leverless. People keep trying to show me all these, like, Mishima players, like, check this person out, check this person out. And I'm like, yeah, that person's dope. And then I find out that they're on leverless and I'm like, oh, well, that's not that impressive. Like, I could probably do that on a leverless. So there is dispute, and I do agree that it probably should be banned in Tekken. However, I'm a pro gamer, I'm competitive, I'm buying one. Okay, I want the cheap stuff. Okay, I'm gonna get one, I'm gonna practice, I'm gonna get good. Okay, the science cannot be denied at this point. I've seen Mishima players that are like, yo, this is the first Tekken I've ever played, and they're just blasting electrics with these leverless sticks. And it seems like that's just the direction the industry is going. However, I'm not sponsored. I'm not a sellout, okay? I try to be responsible with what I tell you guys, and it wouldn't be fair for me to say, go buy a leverless stick right now. Go spend $300. Listen, times are tough. I don't have $300, right? We sit there and we buy this stick, or the stickless stick, spend $300, and they announce that it's banned at EVO, right? Tekken's going to be at EVO. I want to play it. So far, it doesn't look like it's going to be banned. It's very, very unlikely. That's why me, as someone that's planning on going, I'm going to buy one. But, keep that in mind. Excuse me. Not bad manners, just good beer. But, like I said, if you are maybe not sure if you want to commit, right? It costs me about $1,000 to go to EVO, and then hopefully I make it back in money matches, all right? That's how a lot of us do it, right? Like, I don't go to EVO planning to win EVO. I go to EVO planning to hustle people in hotel rooms in money matches and make my money. That's how the FGC does it, okay? If you want to be a pro gamer in the FGC, all right, you either start a stream or you hustle people in the back rooms, man. That's how gangsters did it, dog. All of your favorites, dog. I've played Eris in those backroom money matches, okay? That's where the legitimacy is. That's where you make a name, okay? If you could beat the main man in a salty suite at Evo, you become a legend. And you may make 40 bucks. Hey! Right? But, again, if they announce that it's banned, okay, you're going to have problems. Keep that in mind. That is answer number 1. Answer number 2 is going to go very quick because it is the boring answer and I don't want to waste any time on boring stuff. That is, play what feels comfortable, okay? If you grew up in the arcade, you get one of these because it just feels right. I don't use this, okay? I don't. This is my stick, but I don't use it. I keep it in the closet. I pulled it out because my wife plays Tekken, and she says that Tekken is more fun on the arcade stick. I'm not going to argue. Yeah, okay, if you think it's more fun, if you think Tekken is just more fun this way, get the arcade stick, okay? It's 200, but this one was 200 bucks. I think there's cheaper ones. I bought one for like 40 bucks. It was garbage, but if you just want to have fun and you think, yeah, that's the boring answer. You played Street Fighter on Super Nintendo, you're better on D-pad. Listen, I'm not going to argue with you. Just, they have an Elite X. This isn't Elite, but they have an Elite Xbox D-pad if you prefer that, if it feels better. But that's the boring answer, and that brings me to answer number 3. Okay? And that comes from my personal experience as a traveling pro gamer who has to go and go to tournaments and go to hotels and live the life, the rock star life that you want, right? And it's fun. Trust me. Trust me. Okay, Combo Breaker, I'm not going to it, but if you're thinking about going to Combo Breaker, just do it. Train up and try to win your money back in salty sweets and you'll be all right, bro. And that's the game. That's the game, all right? There are guys I know that make thousands of dollars that way. Like, that's how they make their living. They make like 10 grand at Evo. They don't even win Evo. They make 10 grand in money matches. And then they just live off of that until the next tournament. Gangster. Gangster. Only through living that lifestyle can you have some of the wisdom that I have. And let me tell you, if you're going to go to tournaments and you're going to invest in an expensive controller, you need to face 2 realities. Okay? 2 realities that lead us to answer number 3. Those 2 realities are, let me start with I was going to go into number 2, but let me start with number 1. You master what you practice. Now that I learned from Bruce Lee, who is the greatest martial artist in the world, in history, of all time, right? They have martial law in this game to pretend like you're Bruce Lee. And he says that you master what you practice. Now he said this in the context of martial arts, being that if you practice street fighting, you will master street fighting. If you practice pro fighting, you will master pro fighting. So a pro boxer will probably get beat up in a street fight against a street fighter. But if you take a street fighter, and it doesn't matter how many street fights he's been in, you put him in a boxing ring, and they generally struggle. We've seen it time and time again. Street fighters that blow up on YouTube go into UFC, and then we never see them after their first loss. So yes, you master what you practice. Keep that in mind. Second reality you have to face, and this is the unfortunate reality that people don't want to talk about, especially the sponsored players. I'm not one of them, okay? All this stuff breaks, okay? This controller, I've had this for many, many years. It is a very good controller. If you want to buy it, I can confidently say that I bought this for the PlayStation 4 and it works on my PlayStation 5. It was expensive, but yeah, it has lasted a long time, okay? But I've had sticks break. I've had sticks, brand new sticks, fail on me. Every controller breaks. I don't care if you spent $500 or $50, okay? I have seen players literally in tears because they were at a competition and their controller broke and they couldn't find someone to loan them a controller that they felt comfortable with and they lost. Pro players. Pro players, right? Because it goes back to answer or part number one, right? You master what you practice, okay? And these break. They just do, okay? You need to keep that in mind. They break. And what are you going to do when you're at Evolution and your controller breaks and you use a fancy leverless controller that's one of a kind? Say you're one of those special guys that likes to customize. You have a custom one of a kind stick you built with your own hands and it just failed. And you are at Evo and your name has been called, and if you don't win this, you don't make top 32 and become a star and make all this bullshit worth it. That's real life. That happens. It has happened to me. I've seen it happen to players far more famous and far more talented than I ever will be. Crying like a grown-ass man, crying because he is about to throw a $20,000 tournament because his controller just malfunctioned and he's not sponsored, so they don't have 5 in a freaking van chilling for him. He spent all his money to get here in the hopes that he could be a star. And this is his chance. And he built this controller by hand to fit his specifications, and now it does not work, and there is no more. Now, this goes back to, I consider fighting games to be on the level of musicianship, specifically Tekken. This is Virtuoso, okay? All right, this is Steve Vai, this is Momstein fighting games, all right? Any of you who are a musician, you can confirm this to me. Okay, you can confirm this. Every guitar has a soul, man. You pick up a guitar and you feel it different, man. It has different strings. The strings feel different. The frets are in, maybe they're a little bit further apart. But if it's a brand new guitar, it feels stiff and unloved. If it's an old guitar, it tells you. You know exactly the kind of music this guy plays, right? Oh yeah, this guy uses this. Yeah, this guy is all about this scale, right? Every guitar tells a story. Every guitar is different. Every stick is different. Every stick tells a different story. You master what you practice. And I have had this problem happen to me, and I have watched others fail because of this. So here's my real life pro gamer advice to you. Not sponsored, not bullshit. I'm not getting paid. This is my real life, how it happened for me. Okay? I decided long ago that I will play basic bitch default controller. Specifically because if my controller ever fails and I have to win, that I will be able to find a replacement. At any tournament, there are thousands of, if you go to Evolution, there are literally thousands of PS5 controllers you can borrow. If you built your controller yourself, who are you going to borrow from? You're going to play on another stick? My wife hates using this stick because her favorite stick is the TE2 on Xbox 360, right? And she just likes the buttons on it. I got to go buy a converter now. Long story short, I got to go buy a Brooks so she could use her favorite stick because she says that this one feels different. The buttons are stiffer. My wife doesn't play fighting games. She plays Overwatch. Okay, she plays Tekken with me, and she's confident enough. But she is not going to a tournament. She is not streaming. And she notices the difference from stick to stick. And if you're a guitar player, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a trumpet player, if you play any musical instrument, you know what I'm talking about. This violin, all right, man, it's a little weird. It'll take me an hour to get used to it, and then I can rip. You don't have an hour to get used to it, and then you can rip when they called your name at the grand finals of Evolution. Okay? And that's why I said from now on, I am going to hedge my bets and use the most widely available tool so that no matter what, okay, heaven forbid, God on my side willing, that my controller doesn't break. I have a good competition. Maybe I go 0-2, maybe I go 2-2. But whatever, my controller doesn't keep me out of the higher brackets, just my skill and my practicing. And the best way to hedge my bets, there is a high possibility that someone has one of these. There is a medium possibility you'll find an arcade stick. With leverless, it's a higher possibility than it used to be. A lot of guys, if they played leverless, they were the only guy there that played leverless. Now, maybe you'll go to a competition, a smaller competition, there's 2 or 3 of them, right? A bigger Evo, there's probably going to be hundreds of those, right? But how many are going to feel like yours, right? Maybe it's a different brand, right? You don't know the difference from Razer to what is it, Hori, right? They're all, Sony, I think, has an official one now. They're all going to be different. The buttons are going to be different. And oh, I didn't want to do that. I'm like pressing buttons. But they're all going to be different from brand to brand. But you know what's not going to be different? The PlayStation 5 controller. No matter where I go, whatever PlayStation 5 controller I get, it's going to feel exactly like that controller. So I went out of my way for the past several years, and I only played on the default D-pad on PlayStation and Xbox, so that way I can mitigate and minimize the risk of being caught at an offline competition with a broken or failed piece of hardware and no way to compensate that would be comfortable. Because when you are sitting there and you are at a tournament, okay, I actually am kind of known now, man. Like, if I go to competition, people might know me, and there are a lot of people that don't like me. You don't think they're not going to mess with me at tournament, be behind my back, calling me names, said I was strife. One thing you got to know, no, I know you guys gave me the card, and I know it's a Cisco song, but this is YouTube, and I already did a B, and I already did an S, and I would like to stay monetized, okay? But one thing you gotta know, right? So, like, yeah, man, I've been there, I've done it, and I've played with 10 guys behind my back telling me I was trash, calling me a fraud, saying I ain't good, I ain't nobody, you ain't shit. Dude, I've had legit pros, okay? This is Tekken. I had Rip behind my back saying, Honey Badger, whack! Blow up Honey Badger, right? While I'm fighting MYK, another pro. And then they would take turns. MYK would get behind. Rip would sit down. MYK's like, you could have just framed that. Yeah, you could low parry that. Oh, do you know how to low parry? Do you know, I could teach you how to low parry. MYK, I know how to low parry. Okay? In tournament, we raw, we gangster. I do the same stuff. Hell yeah, I'm gonna be like, Rip, hey man, hey, I think you leveled up your game, bro. I think you leveled up your game. That's Tekken. That's why I love Tekken. Tekken till I die. That community be talking smash. But when you're up there and it's your turn and you got to compete and they're talking smack on you. And yeah, Rip is my buddy. So when he talks smack, I just laugh it off. But there are people that are not my buddy. And they are going to be yelling stuff. And I got to be able to focus. And the last thing I need to be worrying about is this controller is funny. Oh, that button is sticking. Oh, I don't like that. At least from play, yeah, everybody, yeah, some people got some jank PlayStation controllers, but the probability of it being wildly different is small. It's not nothing, but it's small, okay? Like I said, people got jank control. I don't know what is wrong with some of you people, okay? But it's always the ones that don't have deodorant, and then they give you, and you're like, thanks, bro. Good games. I give it back, but I probably lose. Is that pizza? Right? There'll be some grimy cats in them tournaments, okay? You gotta play with their jank controllers. So you don't want it to already be uncomfortable and feel weird. When you're up there, you gotta be zen, dude. You gotta be in the freaking, you gotta be in another dimension, okay? They call it the flow state. Yeah, you got to be there because there's a million distractions. Millions, dog. Millions. And if you want to make it, you got to fight through that. That's what it's all about. It's not can you win. That's why I don't got respect for people that win online. I'm like, dude, I don't care, dog. Do that shit in front of 10,000 people. I did. I went to AEVO. They call any one of you dumbasses on stage. Right? I wasn't on the stream part. But like, they'll call anybody. Hey, Fred. Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude, you got to fight Knee. Do you know who that is? Yeah, you're next on the stream. against Knee. While you're up there, you don't even know who that is. That guy got fans that love him. They love Knee. Greatest Tekken player in Korea. Right? They're going to be chanting his name, and every time you do something good, they're going to boo. Who is this guy fighting my favorite? Boo him. He sucks. You're saying everything. You fat? They're going to clown that. Are you black? They're going to clown that. White? Clowning that too. Asian? Fighting an Asian? Yep, we're doing that. You gay? We making fun of gay people. You straight? They making fun of you for being straight. They going to grab the gay people from the back. Hey, call this straight ass clown corny. You so corny. Oh, hell no, don't fight me. That's good. And you're going to be up there like, damn, dog, my sexuality is under attack. My national heritage is under attack. I got to beat this guy to become a legend. Shit, dude. He's really good. Man, this button is weird. Oh, fuck. I got luck. Mitigate that, guys. Mitigate that. All right? So, that's my 3 answers for what controller is the best and what controller you should buy and what controller you should actually practice and master. I am going to start messing with a leverless, but I'm going to still keep my D-pad hand strong, and I suggest all of you do as well. In fact, your best bet is to be like me and buy all of them and play on everything. But like, I'm a pro gamer and maybe I'll win this back at the next competition. Maybe you're going to take my money. Maybe it'll be you.